Hello everybody, it's time for some answers for DD261. Alright, this is a very short dialogue, but it caused many problems, I know. But it's pretty simple, and I'm going to give you the answers. This is real daily English, daily conversation. If you understand the situation, it's much easier to hear it. Now remember, when you're listening, your goal is to hear it once and understand. 2 times, okay. 3 times, maximum. But many of you are probably 4 times, 5 times, even 10 times. I know, that's okay. That's why I'm here. That's why we have this channel. DD is the baby level. It's for children. No, it's not for children. It's for the beginner, okay? To really test your listening knowledge. When you're ready, join DDM, okay? In DDM, that's where we got the full lesson, where you really get into the situations which will help you understand. Oh, believe me, it is difficult. But it's important that you learn, okay? So I'm going to give you the answers in a second. Let's listen one more time.
Poor kid. What an ordeal.
Right, and you know how extremely sensitive she is.
I know.
She's going to need our full support.
Yeah, right.
Poor kid. What an ordeal. Right, and you know how extremely sensitive she is? I know. She's going to need our full support. Yeah, right. Okay, so we got 3 different people speaking. Jay was Joanne, Michael, Elaine, Michael, and Elaine. Poor kid, or, okay? Poor. All right, let's write a couple of, So, what's this pronunciation? Book. Good. Fool. Pool. Poor kid. Now, the first typical pronunciation in America will be this poor, poor. But what's interesting, many Americans also say poor. I'm serious. The pronunciation like P-O-R-E or P-O-U-R. Poor. Really. Some Americans do say poor. Poor kid. But if you listen to this video, it definitely sounds much more like the or. Not the poor. Some Americans, would they say poor kid? Yeah, I guess it is possible. I think some Americans might say poor kid. Really short, very schwa sounded. But once again, the typical American pronunciation will be this ooh. It's like a diphthong. Pool. Poor kid. Be careful, don't say kid. Poor kid. What an ordeal. I'll talk about the meaning later. What an ordeal. So here we have a flap T sound. It links to the next word. In American English, in a sentence, if there's no consonant, almost always we will link. And that's the case here. Now, British people received English, the Queen's English, they'll say, what an ordeal. Oh dear, poor child, what an ordeal. But those damn Americans like to say, what an ordeal. Now, once again, this is a flat T. Let's do an American sound, but let's do a T. Whatten. Now a flat T. Whatten. Let's do a stop T. Whatten. Can we do a glottal stop? Whatten. 4 different pronunciation possibilities. With a T, whatten, What-ten, what-ten. A flap T, what-en, what-en, what-en. A stop sound, what-en, what-en, what-en. And a glottal stop, what-en, what-en, what an ordeal, what an ordeal. Oh yeah, definitely, 4 different possibilities. All of them are possible in America. What and not common. What and, okay, that's a stop sound. The glottal stop, what an ordeal, what an ordeal. Glottal stop, pretty common, 30%. And what an ordeal, flat T, 60%. Yeah, I think flat T is going to be the most common sound. Now, in American pronunciation, what an, the flap T sounds like a D, not an R, an American R. If it were an R sound, Warren, Warren, Warren idea, Warren idea. No. So it's not an R. Now I know. In Spanish, it might be like an R. Warren, Warren, Warren. In Korean, it might be like Ariel. Okay, I understand in your language it might be different, but in American pronunciation, we're thinking American pronunciation, think American sounds, and think of the flap T as basically a D. A very short, quick D. What an or, yes, connection. What an ordeal, or it's actually nor, what an ordeal, what an ordeal, what an ordeal. Right. Stop sound. Right. And you know, in this situation, the D sound was canceled. And we have a rule in America, the strong sounds S, N, L. These sounds are always strong. Weak sounds, we have 3 weak sounds, the D, T, and the TH. These strong sounds are so strong they can kill the weak sounds many times. And in this case, it's very common to cancel the D. You and I? No. You and I, you and I. International, international? No. International, international. So here, right. And you know how extremely sensitive she is. Extremely, keep the T, sensitive, keep the T, sensitive she is, and you know how extremely sensitive she is. I know. She's gonna need our, going to, alright? So, I could explain how going to becomes gonna, but I'm not today. Nah. Join DDM. Or keep watching DD, and I will in the future. This is a schwa sound. Gonna. She's gonna, she is gonna, she's gonna need. Now, this word, perfect pronunciation, our. But most Americans, almost always, we pronounce it as R. Connect the D. Needar. What en, needar. Very similar, right? Very similar. She's gonna need our, full. That's this sound. Fool, support. Stop sound. She's gonna need our full support. 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 Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We could have a stop sound. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We could finish the T. Yeah, right. Both are totally fine. So that's the pronunciation, okay? Let's go ahead and say it together. I want you guys to say it with me, and then we'll listen, and then I'll explain what everything means exactly, all right? Here we go. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3. Poor kid. What an ordeal. Right. And you know how extremely sensitive she is. I know. She's gonna need our full support. Yeah, right.
Poor kid. What an ordeal.
Right, and you know how extremely sensitive she is?
I know.
She's going to need our full support.
Yeah, right.
Poor kid. What an ordeal.
Right, and you know how extremely sensitive she is?
I know.
She's going to need our full support.
Yeah, right.
So, could you hear it? Was it easier to hear? I hope so. I hope so. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Don't worry. There's going to be another lesson. Coach Shane isn't going anywhere. Hopefully. Yeah, I'll be here. I'll upload more lessons, okay? Once again, I want you guys to join DDM. That's where you really get the full lesson, the big lesson. But DD will definitely help. So, poor kid. What does poor mean? Poor means no money. Yep, it does. Poor people. People with no money. Poor skills. He has poor math skills. That means his math skills are not good. They're inadequate. Not good enough. Poor skills. In this case, however, it means pitiful. Oh, such a sad and tragic situation. Poor kid. Now, many of you know, a couple weeks ago in Nepal, this is 2015, right now it's May, so April of 2015, there was a huge earthquake in Kathmandu. Many thousands of people lost their lives. Those people who lost family members, who lost their homes, who are still, weeks later, still struggling to survive and be healthy. Those poor people. Those poor, poor people. Oh my goodness. Those poor people. Pitiful. Wretched. I feel so sorry for those people. That's the idea. And that's what they're saying in this case. Poor kid. They're talking about this other woman. Okay, you don't need to know the story. Join DDM and you'll know the story. But anyway, poor kid. She lost her toe. Yeah, she was in an accident. Her toe was ripped off. But the doctors saved her toe, put it back, and it's working. Okay? But anyway, she went through a terrible situation. What an ordeal! What an ordeal. Now, we first of all need to know this word, an ordeal. An ordeal is a really terrible, stressful, horrible, sad situation. What an ordeal. Yeah. Anybody who suffers some terrible trauma, some terrible experience, like an earthquake, they experience an ordeal. If you've been in an accident, a car accident, that is an ordeal. If you're giving a speech and suddenly in the middle of your speech, your computer dies. And now I would like to tell you the most important message of the day, and that is, and the most important message of the day, and my computer's dying. This is an ordeal. So an ordeal is something terrible. If you go through an ordeal, we can say to you, oh, poor kid, poor person, oh, that's just terrible. What an ordeal. What a terrible situation. This is a great expression. What a article. Let's change it. Let's say, what a meal. Okay? And watch my expression. What a meal. What a meal. Is it good or bad? It's bad. You can see my expression. Maybe it was too expensive. Maybe it was too small. Maybe it was just disgusting and terrible and yeah, what a meal. What? But wait. Oh, what a meal. Wow. What a meal. Is that good or bad? It's great. So in this case, you finished the meal. It was excellent. Or maybe somebody's bringing you the food. Oh, what a meal. My God, this is amazing. So the tense can change. The meaning can change depending on how you say it. So in this situation, what an ordeal. Obviously, ordeal means a terrible thing. What a super, super, super terrible situation. Right. Yes, I agree. And you know how extremely sensitive she is. So this poor kid, it's a woman. I forgot her name. it's not important. Let's say her name is Sue. I have no idea. Her name is Sue. You know, everybody knows, you is impersonal, but actually it's you and you and you. You know how sensitive, extremely sensitive she is. So this woman is really sensitive. Okay? So for example, if you take a piece of paper and you cut your finger, does it feel good? No, it hurts. Okay? So me, if I do that, oh, damn. Oh, that's it. But some people, oh, blood. This person is extremely sensitive, oversensitive, too sensitive. That's the idea. This woman, Sue, is extremely sensitive. I know. Sue is going to need our full support. We're going to have to be really nice to her. We're going to have to encourage her. We're going to have to show her sympathy. We're going to have to support her, to help her, to encourage her fully 100%. Yeah, right. Elaine, does she sound happy or excited? No, because she doesn't like Sue. She doesn't like Sue at all. But now they have to be nice to Sue. Has that situation happened to you? Maybe at school? Oh yeah, it happened to me. At school, there was a boy who was a bully. He was a really mean boy. And he was a bully to everybody, including me. I'll be honest, I hated him. And then he got into an accident. And he cracked his head really bad. He was in a coma. He was in a hospital for like 3 months. And then basically a year later, he came back to school. Everybody, we were happy that he was okay. We still were nervous, but we had to be nice to him, of course, and we were. Did the boy change? No, he was still the same. And about 2 years after that, he was exactly the same, maybe worse. Yeah. Some boys will always be bullies. He's probably still a bully. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I understand Elaine. You know, yeah, you don't want anybody to be in pain. You don't want anybody to be hurt. But still, do you want to be nice to the person? No. Should we be nice? Yes. But do we want to be nice? No. It's a dilemma. It's life. C'est la vie, que sera. Yeah, such is life. That is life. One of the great, now once again, this is such a tiny bit of our great DDM lesson, DDM 124, I think is what it was. So I hope that you join DDM. You can actually get this exact lesson. It's DDM 124, which is what, 896, 24, like month 14 or month 15, something like that. Yeah, some of you might have it this month. Anyway, that's the lesson. I hope that you enjoyed it. Isn't it amazing? Just such a 5 lines, and yet there's so much to learn. Pronunciation, expressions, the background, the meaning, the feeling. English can be fun. That's my goal to, as a coach, to make it as fun as possible for all of you. Thank you very much. I promise another DD exercise assignment will be coming. And once again, join DDM. 2 lessons a week if you want. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.